In 1889, Preston North End won the first ever English Football League. Since then, they've had a number of ups and downs, winning trophies and being relegated. They also are, in my opinion, the biggest English team to never play in the Premier League. Here's their story. In the 1888-1889 season, which was the first in the league's history, Preston North End won the division with 40 points in 22 games. If that seems like an unusually low number, keep in mind a win at this time only cost 2 points. To add to this, they did not lose a single game, becoming the league's first invincibles. The second place spot was taken by Aston Villa, who were a whopping 11 points behind Preston North End. They also won the FA Cup, beating Wolves 3-0 and becoming the first team to achieve the domestic double. These feats were helped by John Goodell, who scored a whopping 21 goals in 21 games, as well as James D. Ross and Frederick Dewhurst, who scored 18 and 12 goals respectively. The next year, they would repeat as champions despite losing 4 games. Interestingly, this year, a new league formed known as the Football Alliance, in which Nottingham Forest, Sheffield Wednesday, and Newton Heath competed in. Newton Heath, for those of you that don't know, are now known as Manchester United. They're kind of a small team, so you may not know of them. The following 3 years, they finished second, losing to Everton by 2 points, Sunderland by 5, and Sunderland again, this time by 11. The third year was also the first that saw a second division added, and with that, relegation. The new second tier included Crewe Alexandra, Sheffield United, Grimsby Town, and some team known as Bootle. The next year, they would finish 14 out of 16 teams, narrowly avoiding relegation. Despite finishing 4th the next year, 12 points from the top, this could not prevent the inevitable. They would become a mid to lower league side, consistently avoiding relegation while also avoiding winning anything of note. They did reach the semi-final of the 1892-1893 FA Cup, but lost on the second replay to Everton. In 1901, the team was narrowly relegated and played its first year in Division 2. By 1903-04, the team would earn its spot back in the top flight by winning the league by a solitary point. The team would continue on with nothing really of note happening except the second place finish in 1905-1906, losing out by 4 points to Liverpool. A few relegations and promotions followed, but nothing really of importance. After the First World War, football resumed as usual, and Preston resumed being boring. From 1919 to 1930, the club went from being a low-level Tier 1 side to a middle Tier 2 side. They did almost win an FA Cup in 1922 though, losing 1-0 to Huddersfield in the last FA Cup not to be held at Wembley Stadium. The one goal was off a penalty, and despite my efforts, I was not able to find a recording of it. I did find some footage of the game, which should be playing now. In 1934, they finally won promotion back to League One, finishing second behind Grimsby Town. A certain right half joined the team at this time. Who, you most certainly aren't asking? Bill Shankly. Yes, that Bill Shankly. Post-1934, they were a solid upper to mid-table finisher. In 1937-1938, however, they almost won the league, finishing third, 3 points behind winners Arsenal and 2 behind second-place team Wolves. They also won the FA Cup, avenging their loss against Huddersfield by scoring a penalty of their own. This game has extensive recordings and was quite fun to watch. Overall, the future looks bright. During the war, 3 Preston players died: Jack Owen, Percival Taylor, and David Willesee, who had just been signed by the club. During this time, they were able to sign Sir Tom Finney. He played at least 433 games for Preston, scoring 187 goals and getting 76 caps for England. Finney is often considered their greatest player and rejected what would have been a blockbuster move to Palermo. In the 1952-1953 season, his loyalty was almost rewarded. They came second, losing to Arsenal on goal ratio. Arsenal's ratio was 1.516, while Preston's was 1.417. The team continued to be a top-half side until 1960, when Finney retired. The following year they were relegated, finishing dead last with 30 points. In 1960, the PFA abolished the maximum salary for players. This hurt Preston, and most teams for that matter, as they could no longer sign major players due to the team's lack of money when compared to other top clubs. This was blamed, in part, for their struggles in the following decades. While remaining in the second division, they did reach the 1964 FA Cup final. Their opponent was First Division side West Ham, led by legend of the game Sir Bobby Charlton. Despite this, Preston did find the first goal in the 10th minute, going 1-0 up. An equalizer was scored the very next minute though. Somehow Preston scored another, putting them 2-1 up. Sadly for them, another equalizer was again soon found. In the 90th minute, despite Preston's early leads, West Ham midfielder Ronnie Boyce found the game winner in the 90th minute, and Preston lost. A fire sale followed, and the team was relegated to the third tier for the first time in their history. They did manage to bounce straight back, and once again became a middle second league side. A new manager was brought in but resigned after just 2 years due to him controversially selling star John Bird. That manager was Bobby Charlton. After more mediocrity, the team was relegated back to the League 3 in 1981, and just like after the '64 FA Cup final loss, a fire sale followed. In the next 4 years, the side performed great escapes every single season, barely avoiding relegation. Finally, in 1984-85, the team was relegated, with their top scorer, John Kelly, only scoring 7 goals all season. That's a far cry from the 21 in 21 of John Goodall. Tommy Booth failed to win games as the team manager in the 4th tier and was replaced by Brian Kidd. While Kidd went on to become assistant manager to both Alex Ferguson and Pep Guardiola in Manchester United and Manchester City, years later, you wouldn't have guessed that by watching his team. He won a horrific 1 game in 17 and was fired. His replacement, Jonathan Clark, won 5 of his games, but the team still ended up finishing 23rd of 24. This meant the team had to apply for re-election to the league, and due to their history, they won. John McGrath, the new team's head, helped them win promotion back to Tier 3 the following year with the help of Osher Williams, Les Chapman, and Big Sam Allardyce. In 1989, almost saw a new promotion, but Preston lost in the promotion playoff semi-final. All good things must come to an end, however, and in 1992, the team went back down to the 4th tier. By 1994, they were once again fighting for promotion, but lost in the semi-final, despite having on loan a young David Beckham. The next year, the striking partnership of Andy Saville and Steve Wilkinson were signed, and with the help of midfielder Simon Davey, promotion was theirs. In 1998, David Moyes was brought in as the manager, and the team reached the 2nd league, in which they remain to this day. They did fall into the 3rd tier for a few years, but have since returned and are once again a 2nd tier, mid-level side. What did we learn? Well, absolutely nothing. If there's anything to take away from this is that some clubs that seem small now were once giants of the game. While the early triumphs of Preston North End may largely be forgotten, no one can take them away. And what about the team now? Where did they go from here? Well, in all honesty, I think they'll stay in the championship. They never performed bad enough to be relegated, but I haven't seen anything that makes me believe in a Premier League promotion in their near future. Just as they have been for the best part of half a century, I believe they are doomed to mediocrity. But hey, who knows? Maybe they'll win the championship next year, but somehow I doubt it. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video on the first champions of England.